Well, it is the second day of quarterfinals with coverage presented by U.GG, and history has just been made. North America has made it out of quarterfinals, eliminating Korea along the way from world's contention with a 3-0. Zeyzal was on stage in the game, leading the charge with his team against LCK. What was that whole experience like for you? I'd love to just have you kind of like decompress into the microphone.
It was honestly we went in expecting to win. Like there's the video of us reacting to our Afrika's draw. We were scrimming them often, and stylistically they were very slow. So like we were pretty confident that a slow team wouldn't beat us, just because when we lose it's usually just because we get beaten early game. So I mean I was expecting to win, but I didn't expect a 3-0. I would say it feels great. It feels a bit worse, I think, because I played really poorly the third game, but I mean, I haven't really comprehended what we did. I guess the expectations have always been high for me because of the person I replaced and on the team I replaced, so I guess it's relief that we can finally, like, there's no longer any question of whether or not it was a mistake to do what Cloud9 did, and that's a big relief to me.
Well, we were talking about this before, and you know that this is. I've been to all the worlds that mattered, right? Which is the past 7 of them, and including this one. And this doesn't normally happen. North America doesn't make it to semifinals ever, and you guys did it. Do you feel that moment of like historical like achievement, or has it not really hit you yet?
I don't think in terms of historical achievement it hasn't really hit me. I like I said, I almost feel like it was expected because of how lucky we got in our draw, and it would have been more of a disappointment to not get semis this year because our side is like we got lucky. We got like a 1-8 draw, and it was the perfect draw we needed. We're on the right side. We're on the left side, which is the best side for us. We got Afrikas who were not looking like the strongest team and also stylistically matched up well against us or for us. So I guess it hasn't really hit, but it almost felt like we had to do it.
Is that the secret to Worlds this year? Is it just like the aggressive teams that are willing to just like take the fights over and over and over again? That's who's going to win out.
I think so. I think a lot of champions have a lot of upfront damage, so if you just are the first one to go and you don't let the enemy set up, they can't really strangle you. But there's certain champions like KT, for example, versus IG. When they pick Tom, they pretty much neutralize the aggression. So when champs like that are taken out, you can play as aggressive as you want. And think it allows a lot more upsets when there's not like a slow 1-3-1, Tom Kinch sitting mid, you can't make any plays or he just teleports on you. So I'd say it was just the perfect storm for Korea. Like they played a slow macro game all year, and then come Worlds, you have European teams, Chinese teams, and us just going straight in on you when you try to contest our vision or anything.
So I'm sure you watched yesterday, but before we get to that, what do you think is going to happen in this next match, EDG Fnatic?
I think this match is probably going to be as close as KT versus IG. I would say closer because honestly I expected IG to win more than they did. So I would say Fnatic will probably win, but it's like a 55-45. It's really close. Both teams are very strong, and from what I've heard, and what I've seen, EDG is really good, and especially their jungler Haro, I believe. He's like 1v9 player. It's insane, but I'd say yeah, Fnatic favored, but Haro can win the game solo from what I've seen.
Okay. Well, that means that you have a. I mean, you are one match away from making it to finals. You'll face either Fnatic or EG. Probably Fnatic by your guess, but possibly EDG. Do you think that you can take either of those teams?
I think those teams are going to be the hardest, so I would say I think we can. I'm not sure. It's obviously not going to be as favored as this, but it also depends on how our next week of scrims goes. But only considering today's results, I would say it's just maybe 50-50. Like it depends who shows up that day, because if you show up and your whole team is playing well and you're the team that aggresses first, you will always win, I think.
Now, I was joking with you before this interview. We were talking about the interview I did with you right after you guys made it out of the gauntlet. where we kind of joked about like, oh, the secret to winning is to just win and not lose. And it seems like that's what's been happening with you guys. I mean, that was a 3-0 match, so I'm happy that my wisdom has gotten to you.
So the funny thing about that is the only reason we changed our playstyle was because Gen G beat us on the third day of groups. So that night we had a scrim block with an LCK team, and we were playing slow versus them, and they were kind of just like previous days we'd also scrim them, and they were playing a lot slower versus us, and we were like slowly being strangled out of the game. So then like that night it was Dennis and I, so Svensk Garen and I, we were like, all right, let's just play aggressive. If Vitality can beat Genji, we should be able to. Not to say they're bad, it's just how they play can be replicated very easily. They're very loose and aggressive, and we also have the players that can do that. So we pretty much just copied Vitality. We fought our vision super hard, and that scrim block, it was a third block, so it was 2-0, and it just felt so much better playing the game like that because you can involve all 5 members of your team.
That's crazy that it would like all of this just pivoted on one night of scrims. Like you possibly, if you guys hadn't had that conversation, if the scrims just hadn't changed like that, you guys might not have been able to pull this off.
Yeah, we're a very scrim result focused team for sure. Like if we feel good in scrims, we look good and we play well. So I would say, yeah, it all came down to that one night of like recognizing this is our problem. We don't have to fix it completely, but we should just band-aid it and play as aggressive as we can to abuse their problems.
Well, and also kind of cool that like the spirit of Vitality is going to move you guys forward at least, and picking up kind of their flag of that aggressive play style. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean they're good. They played well and they upset teams. So there's no reason we shouldn't have tried.
Yeah, just do that thing. It's working for them. Like let's just keep doing that. That's a good strategy. But as much as you say it was about the scrims, it was also about the interview we did before, right?
Yeah. The Travis Gafford interview from Gauntlet.
Yeah, that's the
Credit
secret.
for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. That's what I need. You did promise me in that you would shout me out if you win finals.
Okay. I still hold that promise if I win finals.
Okay. I'm so excited about that because I mean everything we keep seeing crazy upsets at this Worlds. I mean, has it been fun for you to be a part of it, even the parts where you're not on stage watching it?
Yeah, this Worlds has been fun, but what the viewers see isn't as wild as what we know. So like, when I see the RNG versus G2, actually, we got smacked by RNG in scrims the other day, so that one was pretty surprising. But like, from what we see, any team can beat any team. It just depends who shows up that day. So if maybe some of RNG's members showed up that day and G2's didn't, it could have been a 3-0.
Yeah.
Today, if Sneaky showed up really big today, so that was enough to boost us over the edge to beat Afrika's. So I think it's just individual players matter a lot more right now.
Yeah.
And really anyone can win.
How are you guys maintaining your mentality and sort of emotional health? Because I talked to Perks yesterday, who is like literally on the verge of burning out. It seems like he's doing everything he can to like keep himself in a good place. And I think what I'm starting to realize after all these years is just like literally the mental toll that it takes on players to keep playing and playing and playing. You went from Gauntlet to scrimming to play-ins to scrimming to this. Like it's got to be exhausting.
It's exhausting, and I think that's what like kind of prevents the like super hype. Like you have the immediate reaction, but it's like hard to mentally comprehend that like you just did something significant when like all you've been doing was practicing for this one moment, and to fail in this moment would just be disappointing.
Yeah.
So it's like weird to make it something super big that you should be super excited about because you're just drained.
Yeah.
You've been practicing. I've been practicing for I think May 17th. I don't know how long that is.
Yeah.
That's when I came back to LA and started scrimming a week after that. So I've been scrimming with no breaks since then. Only one day of breaks, and I think we had a 3-day weekend one time.
Yeah.
And I've been fighting for my LCS spot. I went to academy. Like, I'm definitely drained, so I can understand that perspective.
Okay, just get through 2 more matches. If you can get through 2 more matches and win them both, then you can go on vacation after that. Is that okay? That's all we need from you.
Yep, that's the goal, but
it's
gonna be tiring for sure.
Well, hey, thank you so much for doing this for North America. I know fans everywhere are so excited. What would you say to any of the folks who are watching that match, are just pumped for the history that's been made? Anything you would say?
Thank you all for being fans, and I'm happy it was us and not another team to be NA's last hope, and that we didn't disappoint, hopefully.
Well, thank you so much, Zeyzal, for the interview. Really excited for what's in store next week. For everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things Worlds right here on my YouTube channel. Wow, what a historic year for North America. Not only did Cloud9 make history by getting out of quarters, but they got to semifinals by eliminating the last Korean team remaining. It is astonishing what 2018 Worlds has brought. And I've been racking my brain this entire time trying to figure out like what is different about this year. Is it the fact no, it's not the home field advantage. We're in Korea. You know, like it's still League of Legends everyone's playing. We haven't switched to a different game. I mean, that could have stirred up some stuff. The only thing I can think about is that this is the first year I've been sponsored by U.GG. They're in the description. You can check them out. You click the link. You go put in a champion name. You'll never lose champion select again because you'll see all the different ways that people are building. You'll see counters. You'll see all sorts of stuff over there. They've supported my World's content. I wouldn't be here doing this interview with Zeyzal if it wasn't for U.GG. I really want to thank them so much for sponsoring me. I hope you guys thank them too. And again, probably they're the reason that Cloud9's in the semifinals. We don't know. We don't know. There's no evidence to dispute it or go for it. But I feel like there's a pretty good chance. So you should probably start using them now. Thanks so much, U.GG.